The CEO Apprenticeship Program.
Leaders may be born, they certainly need enhancement and support structure.
Our challenge has been and still is that the corporate leadership pool for indigenous talent is still unacceptably small and still constrained, said Honorable Maria Chiwanuka, former finance minister and the patron of the CEO Apprenticeship Club.
And we've all seen Ugandans who've been competitive on the world stage, from going to the moon, into outer space, to promoting groundbreaking initiatives in health vaccines. So why is it we can succeed on the international stage, batting far above our representation in the global population, and at home we're still subject to so many expatriates, welcome as they are, but expatriate CEOs?
In that pronouncement is embodied the long-standing gap and deficit for executive or top management of corporate companies in Uganda.
The CEO Summit was an outcome of concern by CEOs in Uganda. What I'm talking about are the captains of business and industry in corporate Uganda, working together with the government of Uganda to understand fully what was it that was causing the global financial crisis and what could be the worst outcomes of this crisis way back in 2008. So the CEOs got together and created a CEO summit, a CEO forum, where they would exchange ideas and views. The mainstream essence of this program is not necessarily for somebody to become a CEO, but someone to have the professional competencies of a corporate leader in a competitive space.
Several years ago, Central Bank Governor Emmanuel Tumusime Mutabire urged banks to be proactive in tapping into local talent for their top executive jobs. But one CEO challenged the governor to show him what this talent was. This was the last spark that ignited the quest to turn that situation around.
Professor Mutabire really got together with a couple of CEOs, a number of them he got down to, and said, what can we do? And support also the UBA, the Uganda Bankers Association. How can we create a crop of leaders that are really competitive? So that's how we started the CEO Apprenticeship Program. And you can see a number of graduates came from the banking sector.
And 2013 became the year when the first CEO Apprenticeship Club under the Apprenticeship Program was constituted, receiving hands-on training, coaching and sharing experience from sitting CEOs of Uganda and Kenya's corporate entities.
Our role will be the transformation of Africa, but in doing so transforming the world and making it a better place for people.
The target group here is for all those high potential and exceptionally gifted individuals who are heartbeat away from the CEO job.
The reason or personally me, Jimmy Mkero, why I'm involved in the CEO Apprenticeship Program is because I see it as a good opportunity. I see it as an opportunity that has been lacking in this country. If you look at the current crop of CEOs, for a long time, we now have CEOs who are Ugandans, but for a long time, they want Ugandan CEOs. And if you go back and ask yourself what was the case, what was the reason? And the reason is simple, is that there were no people who were being mentored.
The CEO apprentices came from across a section of companies and institutions, including Umeme, Eskom, Stanbic Bank, Housing Finance Bank, among others. The first class benefited from a cross-section of coaches, actual CEOs from Uganda, including some of the first topics featured included. And thus the stage and direction was set for the second and third classes for the 2014 and 2015. The CEO Apprenticeship Program has a key strategic partner in Strathmore Business College of Kenya.
When we looked at what the CEO Summit was doing with the pioneering class of CAP 2013, we saw that they were getting CEOs to groom their successors. In other words, the CEOs in waiting, the future CEOs. There was no better way of looking at it other than partnering with the CEO Summit. So we signed an MOU in July of 2013.
This partnership sprang from the relevance of the CEO Apprenticeship program in carrying on the leadership and management tradition, including the heritage of Strathmore. Strathmore has taken a unique position in influencing through executive education and other initiative leadership for public and private sectors in Africa.
Looking at the alumni of CAP, the past 3 classes, we already have CEOs. They joined the class as direct reports to the CEO, and now they're already CEOs.
The CEO Summit in Uganda has started an institution called League of East African Directors. Working with the Strathmore Business School, we are preparing future directors of the corporate world. And these future directors of the corporate world are being coached, they are being trained, they are sharing also knowledge and information across different portals, especially using the IBM one as the main one.
This partnership ultimately has eyes set on establishing a CEO database in the region as a resource bank for managing the region's companies and institutions.
We would like to create indigenous CEOs so that if you have a company coming into Uganda and they would want a Ugandan CEO, then they can always come to the CEO Summit, they can come to Strathmore Business School and ask for an indigenous CEO.
So IBM, one of the key partners, technical and institutional partners of CEO Summit, has taken the lead in opening up space, a platform for online virtual communication between CEOs and among CEOs on a sector-by-sector basis. So CEOs will develop a very, very structured and integrated thought leadership mechanism on a sector-by-sector basis. CEOs in the agricultural sector will be able to share and exchange views and ideas on this platform. CEOs in the energy sector will be able to share ideas.
As the 4th class embarks on its annual executive coaching program, the alumni class has delivered results. Several members of the alumni have received promotions, some to higher positions, and others actually appointed chief executives of companies and institutions.
I think the critical benefit is the fact that program made me much more aware of who I am as a leader, as well as through the challenge of improving my leadership. In other words, it raised the level of awareness of the kind of quality of leadership that I'm supposed to give. So that's the major benefit I get from the program. The other one is the network that I've developed locally, also the team from Strathmore, and also the mentors themselves. I think that was a critical addition to my assets as a leader.
We're all learning every day.
The major benefit has been about the mentoring and coaching, because this is something that one never really thinks about as you are growing in your career. And this program has brought it out very, very clearly that it's important, and the impact it is having, like, on my personal belief and the way I do my job now is quite immense. So, of course, the other benefit is that you get to meet the CEOs whom you normally not meet in the day-to-day course of your career, and you get to interact with them, especially the local CEOs, because they're quite inspiring.
What I expect from this CEO forum is to give me the skills that will help me understand what makes successful CEO successful, and actually also to learn the things that you should never do as a CEO, because I know for a fact that there is no single formula as to a CEO. I take this forum as really teaching me how to play a game of chess.
My expectations out of this program are that simply to think differently. My strengths are on the execution side, and a challenge I'm currently facing right now is how to think the way my CEO thinks so that I'm a step ahead of him. This for me is a self-sponsored program, so that shows the commitment at which I want to get to the next level, and I do hope it's worth it.
The reason I'm here is I'm attending the CEO Summit. This is a program that enhances our leadership qualities and skills to become a CEO. And one of the issues that motivated me to come is that quite a number of people have talked to me why I shouldn't be moving to a CEO level.
This is a program for, I believe, grooming future corporate executives. We have, majority of us on the program, I think, are in corporate leadership. And what actually we are trying to attain is leading in corporate leadership.
Within the last 4 years, we have had a total of 8 CEOs, people who have become CEOs. At that time, they were CEOs in waiting. Now they are actual CEOs. And we expect to see more in the next 2-3 years.
Those who haven't yet moved, you can see that they've developed as leaders. They've developed into T-shaped leaders.
Government has been in full support of the CEO Apprenticeship program through the Finance Ministry, and the trajectory of the program is pointing high.
Worked with the other CEOs in waiting to start an innovation village. This innovation village, among other things, is going to stimulate leadership in terms of idea generation, taking a number of these ideas to commercializable scale as a way of supporting government in job creation and wealth generation. So this is the real thrust of the innovation village that is started. So government is supporting this through the National Council of Science and Technology, National Academy of Science, Makerere University, SEDAT.
The country team leader of the CEO Summit, which is related to the CEO Apprenticeship program, Peter Chimboa, PK, was recently appointed among the 6 executive coaches who constitute African Executive Coaching Advisory Council, created by the Department for International Development of the UK under the Financial Sector Deepening Program to coach top-level financial sector CEOs in Africa. The trustees of the CAP are Dr. Robin Chibuka, Mr. Peter Chimboa, Mr. Jimmy Serugo, Professor J.K. Sewanyana, Owechitibwa Wagwan Sibira, Mr. Leonard Mpuma, Mr. James Onyoin, and Mr. Alan Katwalu.